very warm welcome, Spa race reaction, and that was a complete shit show and an embarrassment for Formula One. Where do I start, to be honest? I wasn't even going to do a race reaction because there's nothing to report. The qualifying positions remain the same and half points are given. George Russell on the podium for the first time, but it's not really a podium, is it? Because it's not on pure race pace, so... I mean, he did an amazing job yesterday, but I don't know. To call that a first podium is... I mean, it was a shit show from the get-go today. A total embarrassment to the sport I love. Of course, we can't affect the weather. The weather is what it is. But Masi, undecisive. He doesn't make decisions quickly. We literally went round like 6 o'clock, did 2 laps behind the safety car, when we could have done that at 2 o'clock. I feel sorry for the fans who got piss wet through. Yeah, hopefully they get refunded or a ticket for next year. It's probably the wettest Spa we've ever seen. It was just a shit show from the get-go. It was poor. It was embarrassing. It really was humiliating. The sport I love, just making a mockery of itself. You can't control the weather, but Masi's so undecisive. He literally could have started the race 2 o'clock. He could have done 2 laps straight away, and then we see what the weather does. But it was a mess. We were delaying times 5 minutes, then let's check on the weather, as if it's going to improve in 5 minutes. I lost for words, really. A sport I love acting like a joke, to be honest. Wet race, it will be chaos, but we never got a race. Perez, on the way to the grid, he actually spun and hit the barrier. And then later, he was actually allowed to race again, which I thought was very odd. He's made a mistake, he's hit the wall, he's had to get help to get the car back, but because there was such a delay, he ended up actually being allowed to race. But then again, it wasn't a race. And Michael Masi, for me, needs to be called into question as the race director. And I'm pretty sure he got the rules wrong as well. So, as a race director, if he doesn't know the rules, that's very alarming. A total farce, really. The race should have been called off 3 o'clock, an hour in. And we were still going at 6 o'clock. And we could have done 2 laps at 2 p.m. Half points given, George on the podium, shortest race in history. Belgian race reaction, what an absolute shit show. Feel sorry for the fans. And half points given. Race rating, 0. Star of the race, not available. And fastest lap, Nikita Mazepin, which I thought was funny. He still won't get a point for it, though. So, P1 max, it's basically the qualifying times. He did the job yesterday, great pole lap, and he will get half points, and he closes the gap on Lewis. P2, George Russell, sensational yesterday, but for me, I can't count that as a podium, because it's not on pure pace. He did amazing yesterday, and he deserves that Mercedes seat, but I'm not counting that as a podium for George, to be honest. He gets 9 points, but I don't know. On pure race pace, he's never on the podium, is he? So, in that Williams. P3, Lewis Hamilton, not a great weekend. Bang average, loses points in the championship. P4, Daniel Ricciardo, very impressive. P5, Sebastian Vettel. He's been outstanding all weekend. Real classy. P6, Gasly, another sensational performer. 7th, Ocon. Great, considering Alpine struggled in the wet. 8th, Leclerc. Bit of a ropey weekend. 9th, Latifi. More points for Latifi. 10th, Carlos Sainz. 11th, Alonso. Really struggled. 12th, Bottas. Not in the points. Wow. Giovinazzi, 13th. 14th, Lando Norris. Yesterday, driver error cost him. 15th, Yuki. 16th, Mick. 17th, Mazepin with the fastest lap. 18th, Lance Stroll. Kimi Räikkönen 19th. He has had a shit weekend. And 20th and last, Perez. Yeah, absolutely criminal. He got a new contract and then binned it on the way to the grid. And for me, he shouldn't have been allowed to race. I think that was very strange. Yeah, but it didn't matter in the end because we never got a race. Yeah, the strangest race reaction I've ever done on the channel. We will still be doing driver ratings, but yeah. F1, the pinnacle of motorsport, ended today as a joke of motorsport, to be honest. What an absolute shit show from the get-go. 2 p.m, we got a delay. We could have gone round behind the safety car for 2 laps straight away. We delayed, then we went round, it was too dangerous, and then it was a mess. It was a complete mess, a complete farce. I love Formula 1, but I don't like what I saw today. It was a mess. And the race director worried me a lot. Undecisive with his decisions, didn't know the rules, came across as nervous when Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull were talking to him on the team radio. Yeah, Michael Masi, you're the race director. You're in control of everyone's destiny. Millions watching it on the TV. What was it? The attendance? Loads of fans in the grandstand. Teams, mechanics, all getting piss wet through. Make a ruthless call. But 5-minute delay for the weather, as if it's going to improve in 5 minutes. And then when they actually went out at the end to complete the 2 laps, the conditions were actually worse than when they were out before. Unbelievable. An absolute joke of a Grand Prix. Nothing against the track. It was just a bad weekend for the weather. Yeah, we can't help the weather, but yeah, I call it how I see it. That was a complete shit show for the sport I love. Comment down below. We'll always reply. And join me for driver ratings tomorrow. We will be doing driver ratings as normal. Yeah, and we go to Zandvoort in a couple of days. Adios.